Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à Learn French by Suchita. Je m'appelle Suchita, votre enseignante de la langue française, and I welcome you to a new 5-day series where you will master the most commonly used French verbs along with their suitable prepositions. Before we begin with this video, I would like to introduce you to my website www.learnfrenchbysuchita.com, where you will find recorded courses for all your French language needs. We have courses for DELF A1, DELF A2, DELF B1, TEF TCF recorded course, French phonetics as well. We have special courses for our school students ranging from grade 5 to grade 8. We also have courses for university students who are enrolled in certificate course or diploma course in Delhi University. And finally, we also have courses for our school students who are aiming to appear for their DELF Prem or DELF Junior examinations. So hurry up and check it out. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. And in every video, I am going to introduce you to 5 new French verbs along with their suitable grammatical constructions. This is the most common errors that I have seen while correcting the write-ups of the students. So I thought, why not record a video on this topic? This is the final video of our 5-day series. So make sure before you watch this video, you have watched the videos from day 1 to day 4. If you have not watched those videos, I'm dropping the link in the card above. You can watch those videos and then come back here again. I would also like to tell you that this video is just a small portion of our learning program. So if you are looking for complete French learning program, you can visit our website www.learnfrenchbysuchita.com and you will find the link in the description box below. All right, let's just start with the video, and this video is day 5. The verb is proposer. This is the 21st verb and the verb is proposer. Proposer is to propose. Now proposer, that's a regular ER verb. So the first construction that we have to do is proposer quelque chose à quelqu'un. That means proposing something to someone. So quelque chose, something, à quelqu'un, to someone. So proposing something to someone. Par exemple, elle a proposé une promenade à tout le monde. Now, she proposed. I have conjugated the verb proposer in passé composé. So, elle a proposé une promenade, that is quelque chose. She proposed a walk to everybody. Now, a walk, that's quelque chose, something. And tout le monde, that means everybody, that is quelqu'un. So, you see, elle a proposé une promenade. Before une promenade, I did not add any preposition. But before tout le monde, I added the preposition à. So, proposer quelque chose à quelqu'un. Elle a proposé une promenade à tout le monde. She proposed a walk to everybody. Let's move on to our next construction, and that is, if after the verb proposer, you have the verb in the infinitive form, you have to add the preposition the in between. So the construction goes something like this. Proposer plus la préposition de plus le verbe à l'infinitif. Par exemple, elle a proposé de faire une promenade. She proposed to do a walk, or she proposed to take a walk. Now, the first verb over here is the verb proposer, which we have conjugated that verb in passé composé. Elle a proposé. Now, the next verb is to take or to do. That is the verb faire in the infinitive form. So, you see, I have added the preposition de in between. Elle a proposé de faire une promenade. She proposed to take a walk. So, we have learned 2 constructions. The first one, proposer quelque chose à quelqu'un. That means proposing something to someone. And the second one, proposer plus la préposition de plus le verbe à l'infinitif. Let's move on to our 22nd verb, and the verb is refuser. Refuser. Again, that's a regular ER verb. Refuser, which means to refuse. So the first construction, that is refuser quelqu'un ou refuser quelque chose. To refuse somebody or to refuse something. Refuser quelqu'un ou refuser quelque chose. That means if after the verb refuser, you have someone or something, you do not have to add any preposition in between. Par exemple, l'organisation a refusé ma candidature. That means the organization refused my candidature. So you see, my candidature, that's something. After the verb refuser, I have not added any preposition. L'organisation a refusé. I have conjugated the verb refuser in passé composé. So the organization refused ma candidature, my candidature. Let's move on to our next construction, and that is refuser quelque chose à quelqu'un. To refuse something to somebody. Par exemple, tu as refusé 1 euro à ton fils. You refused 1 euro to your son. So something over here is 1 euro and somebody over here is ton fils, your son. So before your son, I have added the preposition à, but before something that is 1 euro, I did not add any preposition. So tu as refusé, you refused 1 euro, 1 euro à ton fils, to your son. So the construction is refuser quelque chose à quelqu'un. To refuse something to someone. Let's move on to our third construction, and that is, if after the verb refuser, you have the verb in the infinitive form, you will add the preposition de in between. So the construction is le verbe refuser followed by the preposition de followed by le verbe à l'infinitif. Par exemple, he refused to participate in the competition. So he refused to participate. The first verb is the verb refuser, to refuse. And the next verb is there in the infinitive form, which is the verb participer, to participate. Il a refusé de participer. So you see the first verb, that is the verb refuser, that has been conjugated in passé composé. Il a refusé de participer. I have added the preposition de in between, and the verb participer is there in the infinitive form. Il a refusé de participer à la compétition. He refused to participate in the competition. So le verbe refuser followed by the preposition de followed by the verb in the infinitive form. Let's move on to our 23rd verb, and the verb is réussir. Réussir, that's a regular IR verb conjugated just like the verb finir, like the verb choisir, and it means to succeed. So let's learn the first construction, and that is, if after the verb réussir, you have quelque chose, something, in that case, you may or you may not add the preposition à in between. Both the formats are correct. So you can also say réussir quelque chose, to succeed something, or you can say réussir à quelque chose. Both the formats are correct. Par exemple, j'ai réussi cet examen. I succeeded this exam. Or I can say j'ai réussi à cet examen. Cet examen, that is quelque chose. So you can say j'ai réussi cet examen, or you can say j'ai réussi à cet examen. Both the formats are equally accepted. Let's move on to our next construction, and that is, if after the verb réussir, you have the verb in the infinitive form, you have to add the preposition à in between. So the construction is le verbe réussir followed by the preposition à followed by the verb in the infinitive form. Par exemple, he succeeded to open the door. He succeeded to open the door. Now, the first verb is succeeded. The verb is réussir. And the next verb is to open. That is ouvrir, which will come in its infinitive form. So, il a réussi à ouvrir la porte. The verb réussir has been conjugated in passé composé, and the verb ouvrir is there in the infinitive form. But I have added the preposition à in between. Il a réussi à ouvrir la porte. He succeeded to open the door. Let's move on to our 24th verb, and the verb is promettre. Promettre, which means to promise. So the first construction, that is promettre quelque chose à quelqu'un. To promise something to someone. Promettre quelque chose à quelqu'un. Par exemple, he promised a surprise to his son. Now, a surprise, that is something, and his son, that is someone. So if you have something, you will not add any preposition. But if you have someone, you have to say à quelqu'un. Par exemple, il a promis. He promised. I have conjugated the verb promettre in passé composé. Il a promis une surprise, that is quelque chose, to someone. À son fils. Il a promis une surprise à son fils. He promised a surprise to his son. Let's move on to our next construction, and that is, if after the verb promettre, you have the verb in the infinitive form, you have to add the preposition de in between. So the construction is le verbe promettre followed by the preposition the, followed by the verb in the infinitive form. Par exemple, he promised to be on time. So the first verb is to promise. Promised to be. And the next verb is to be, which is there in the infinitive form. So the sentence looks something like this. Il a promis. I have conjugated the verb promettre in passé composé. Il a promis. And the next verb is être, to be, which is there in the infinitive form. But I have added the preposition the in between. Il a promis d'être à l'heure. He promised to be on time. Let's move on to our final verb, and the verb is répondre. Répondre, which means to respond or to reply. This is a regular third group verb. The first construction, that is répondre à quelqu'un ou répondre à quelque chose. To reply to somebody or to reply to something. Par exemple, j'ai répondu à toutes les questions. I responded to all the questions. Now, all the questions, that is something. So if you have to reply to something or to someone, you will add the preposition à in between. J'ai répondu, I have conjugated the verb répondre in passé composé. So j'ai répondu à toutes les questions, to all the questions. Let's move on to our next construction, and that is, if after the verb répondre, you have the verb in the infinitive form, you will have to add the preposition de in between. So it is répondre plus la préposition de plus le verbe à l'infinitif. Par exemple, he replied or he responded to call back tomorrow. So the first verb is responded. The verb is répondre. And the next verb is rappeler, which is to call back. So you see, I have added the preposition de in between. The first verb is répondre, which I have conjugated in passé composé. Il a répondu. And the next verb is to call back. The verb is rappeler, which is there in the infinitive form. I have added the preposition de in between. Il a répondu de rappeler demain. He replied to call back tomorrow. And with this video, we are done with our 5-day series. I would really like that whatever I have taught in this 5-day series, you can pick up any verb and you can make sentences using all these verbs and mention them in the comment section below. I am going to personally correct all your sentences. And if you like this video, do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for daily updates and reminders, do not forget to hit the bell icon. And I will see you soon with the next video. Till then, au revoir, à bientôt et bisous bisous.